Welcome to Faetful Frolics. This is our first episode. It's a mini series set in my homebrew world of Ilduth. What are words? What are words? I am Tori, and I will be the dungeon master / game master for this game. I'm very excited about this. I hope you are too. I'd like to get through a couple of announcements first. First thing is I have some technical difficulties where I start to freeze a little bit. I've tried a bunch of things before we went live, so I apologize in advance if that happens while we are streaming. So just bear with that as we go through this. Hopefully it won't impact the game too much. So technically that was supposed to be like not even an announcement, but I had to throw that in there. All right, so technically first thing I want to give a big shout out to Jax and Adam and thank them for allowing me to share my world on their channel. Also a big thank you for Adam running tech stuff. That shit is really hard and I appreciate it immensely. And if you haven't already hit that follow button, please do. Sparabel is awesome and you can use the followers. And if you are able to subscribe, the content here on Sparabel is amazing. Lots of RPGs and currently lots of Dungeons and Dragons. So one of the things I want to pitch to you guys right now is this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time or Saturday 10 a.m. New Zealand time is the Gallant Horde, which is a stream of Dungeons and Dragons. You should really check it out if you can. It's a group of adventurers that are selected through a bunch of different things. It's different adventurers every week, but this group will be journeying to the realm of cloud giants. So, before we dive in, a couple of us have announcements, so I'm going to start from the top and we'll work our way down. If you don't have an announcement, feel free to skip. So we'll start with Mike, if you will start us off.
Sure. So my name is Mike. I'm really looking forward to playing in this world. My biggest announcement is starting at Sunday, September 26th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be hosting a charity stream for the Children's Miracle Network, where we will be playing a one-shot epic level adventure called The Invasion from Planet Tarask. This will be 6 level 20 characters all getting together to play for a couple of hours and hopefully raise a good amount of money for a wonderful charity. So I look forward to seeing all of you there and hopefully we have a good time. Awesome.
Antelieris, you got an announcement?
Well, I have
or
a shield.
pitch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my name is Antelieris. I play D&D, or not D&D, I play story-based games over at twitch.tv/Antelieris. Link in the description since my name is apparently hard to spell sometimes. I tend to play, as I said, story-based games. Currently playing Tales of Arise and loving the changes that they made to the Tales series battle system. It's just pretty good. On Fridays at 7:15, I play some D&D with my friends. Over there I play blanking on the name, and that's weird because it's my own name.
That's all right.
Shioran, the Triton Druid / fighter.
All right. Awesome.
And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so check that out if you can. All right, Yeti, do you have any announcements you'd like to pitch?
Sure. I'll be like everybody because I'm cool too. I guess, the only thing I could really pitch out is we've got a little baby stream channel we've started too, After Bedtimers. Just a bunch of parents of kids that get together after the kiddos have gone to bed, hence the name, and just mess around, game, have a good time. We're not too serious, just pretty casual variety mix. So I'll slap a link in the chat there as well, and we hope to see you on one of our streams of ridiculousness.
Great, awesome. Brandon, do you have anything to?
You're cool.
Yeah.
I am personally not as exciting as everybody else, and I have nothing. So
that's fine.
Catch you in the Gallant Horde.
Yeah, exactly.
No, do the thing.
Are you going on the giant thing?
I am not.
All right. All right, Kit, do you have anything?
Yes, hi. I make pretty things like book earrings and dice, and I'm actually giving away this set of dice today, and they're all hand painted in beautiful shiny things. And I think Adam's probably got, there's my shop link. So I don't know what the thing is for the giveaway, but I'm sure Adam's going to handle that.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Awesome. And Megan, do you have anything you'd like to pitch?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm Megan. Come watch the Gallon Horde.
There you go.
All right. Cool. All right. So then, if that is all the announcements we have, let us dive in to the first episode of Faetful Frolics. So, woo! So you all have done. So let's catch up our viewers. Oh, what is this? Okay, that was weird. There's like I don't know if you guys have had this update on your computer with the weather at the bottom, and like if you go
I
over it, this
disabled that.
big
Yep.
pop-up thing comes up,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it just doesn't go away. And I was like, I don't know what is happening. Please go away.
Yeah, I had to go in and disable that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too because that's really annoying. All right, so to catch our viewers up to speed, we've had 2 non-streamed episodes where our party members kind of just got to get to know each other, did a couple of errands and odds and ends, some shopping, got some new weapons, got some potions, met some town members, did a side quest where they helped rescue a local apothecary, Bothi, and he was lost in the woods being chased by bark bulls, which are fey creatures, and they rescued him from the bark bulls and brought him back to town, and as thanks they got some health potions and mystery potions, and so as you guys are all doing this, you've kind of got together and you know all this stuff. You saw a sign that led you to this strange mushroom-like tower on the outside of Deval, the capital city. And in it was Arcanist Mythenmore, who had lost his partner, has been kind of missing in action for a little bit of time, and it turns out he's in the Feywild. So you guys agreed to go check on his partner and see if everything is okay or what's happening. And so you guys are gonna head back there, get a map, and head to the Feywild. So you guys went to, you stayed at the Stately Stew Inn in Deval. And so you guys are just waking up from after rescuing Bothi. And so that is where we begin our journey today. So you guys wake up to rather warm air. The sun is really bright this morning. It's peeking through your windows. It's got these thin curtains, sheer curtains over the windows. So it's making your room really bright. And as you kind of like waking up from the light, you start to have a smell hit your nose. Lots of cooked meats and fresh juices. You're in relatively simple rooms, mostly just a bed and a nightstand and a chair here at the Stately Stew Inn. But you've had a comfortable night's rest and you feel pretty accomplished now that you've gone and rescued Bothi. It's been a couple days since Mythenmore said for you to check back in to get your maps and supplies to head to the Feywild. So you're probably able to do that now. What would you like to do?
Do we want to introduce ourselves and our characters to the
Thank you.
audience?
I get distracted. I have goals
No,
for
that's
tonight.
okay.
Megan,
Because I was just
Megan
thinking
says
it's a bit big enough for me.
yes. So let's go around and each of you introduce your character and give a brief description about what your character looks like, and then we'll start our day. All right. So go ahead and we'll start from the top again. So Mike, if you want to introduce your character.
So I will be playing Geode, the Earth Genasi Barbarian. He stands about 5'10" and really spent his time out on the seas. So he looks sun-kissed and blistered. But he always has a smile on his face and is always happy to help the next individual.
Right. And how do you? I know I said it wrong earlier, and then you said it right, and I feel really bad. Is it It's Antelieris?
Antelieris.
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 Antelieris. Okay, so Antelieris, it's your turn.
It's good to get this out on stream, by the way.
Right?
I keep joining people's chat. I keep joining people's chat on Twitch, and they're always like, "Antelieris, did I say that right?" and I have to type out the thing because they're like, "I want to know how to say it right."
Yeah.
So I play Annalise Kennant. She is a human, red hair tied back in braid to her waist. She has excuse me. Descriptions are not my thing. She wears a suit, three-piece suit with a red vest, red and black vest, white undershirt and black pants, as well as a green tie. And she has a rapier at her waist and a bowler hat on her head.
All right.
And that's not very much to describe, but you know.
All right. Nice. All right. So that brings us to Yeti.
Cool. I am rocking Imyth, an Eladrin Swashbuckler. Though the name changes occasionally, he's got a bit of a quirk to him that I'm sure will be highlighted a bit more as the night goes on, potentially, or nothing else. Currently, Lannis. Pretty prototypical swashbuckler attire as per the Hero Forge character art I slapped together. I think that summed it all up. So just doing his darn best with another form of goldfish brain, you might say.
All right.
Yay,
All
goldfish brain.
Yeah.
But the plus side is that anyone with basically gods if they have a brain. We all know.
Of course. Precisely. All right, Brandon.
I will be playing Fleur. She is a tall, thin, tan elf. She wears a wreath of flowers around her head, walks around barefoot, and carries a driftwood staff with her. Bright colors, very outgoing and reminiscent of the Feywild, where she has spent time in the past. And she will occasionally carry on conversations with her friend and protector, Tatiana.
All right, so that brings us to Kit.
I'm a 7'6" Loxodon, which is the elephant folk, and I'm got kind of earth tone monk vestments on, and I've got a staff and a little brown mouse on my shoulder, and I'm just super chill, kind of soft spoken and mellow. That's my jam.
All right.
Big lady.
Walk tall, carry a big stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's Megan.
All right, so I will be playing Dezyrae. She is a crystal dragonborn, so her scales are very shiny, whitish color with almost like a pinkish hue in certain lights. She's dressed in blue accented armor with a very dark cloak that she wears over. She is a ranger, but also a rogue, because that's fun. And she's not very talkative, but she's very, here's the job, let's do the job, we don't need any extra anything, let's just go.
All right.
Oh, my character's name is Mirage. I forgot to say that. You didn't see anything.
She appears differently to different people if the day is hot enough and they're far enough away from it at first day.
All right. So you all wake up.
So we get up and head down, get some breakfast.
Okay.
I'll look for some fruits and veggies to eat.
All right. So you head down and you see Yillik again, which is the snowy owl Aarakocra woman that was there, who is kind of like helping tables. It's a little more busy. It's busier this morning. And there seems to be, it's a little livelier too. There's a lot more conversation and things are happening. So she's bustling around, handing out plates, picking up plates, pouring juice, all this stuff. Sees you all come down and says, "Oh, good morning. How are you all doing?" She actually, do all of you come down, or are you coming down in sections?
I'm going down.
You're going down?
I'll come down
Geode
whenever.
smells food. He's coming down.
He's coming down? Okay.
Lannis is a pretty early riser, so definitely.
Okay.
come down as well.
She sees you, Lannis, and gives you a nod, and says, "Are you doing okay this morning, dear?"
Yes, actually, I found my friends. I'm supposed to be here. It's all good, and I'm here again today. So that's always a blessing. So yep, we're just gonna have a good time.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. As she kind of bustles back through and heads on, there is a couple tables open, so you're able to sit down. You get a meal. It's a wonderful meal, considering lots of cooked meats, vegetables. There's some fresh fruit and juices. So you all sit down and you have a good meal.
I've got to remember to eat dinner before I stream. This is every time. It's so hungry.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because we always start in the tavern eating.
Yeah.
So, the plan today to head out to Mithranroar to try to head off to the Feywild. Is that what we're doing today?
Mm-hmm.
I believe he has more information for us.
Well, before
Yeah,
we
Tatiana
go,
says that we need to go back and talk to the wizard man,
Mm-hmm.
because he's supposed to give us a map.
Yes.
right.
So we should.
Is that not
Tatiana,
what you said, Geode?
Well, that's what I was getting at. Yes,
Okay.
but before we go, I want to speak to Pipnock. He may have something for me. He's supposed to have had it today.
Oh.
And if he doesn't, I hope he offers me a discount.
Right.
So after we eat, off to see Pipnock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all finish up. Yulek bids you adieu and quickly cleans up your table so that the next folks can sit down. And you head out the door and head towards Pipnock's shop, the Lost Spell.
On our way out,
Yes.
Fleur, did Tatiana get enough to eat in there?
she doesn't really eat much. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen her eat. Tatiana, do you eat? She says no.
That is fair, since we have never seen her.
Well, that's just because we don't believe enough. We still need to believe. I told you all that story about that fairy that couldn't be seen until, we gotta make sure we believe in her. Now that I'm getting her name, I'm sure she'll show up soon. I've been practicing Tatiana.
See, he is trying to be nice. He's even trying to learn your name.
You walk through the bustling streets and you pass just all sorts of variety of folks. You see goblins, you see other Loxodons, you see some minotaurs, you see obviously humans and half-elves and halflings and the usual sort a lot of people are used to, but you see varieties that you're not used to as well. And it is just a melting pot of a city, and everyone just kind of coexists without giving other people like dirty looks or stares or anything like that. You see plenty of tieflings as well. And you walk through, you head to the Silver District, which is where the Lost Spell is. And you come to the crossroads where it's located, and the door is actually propped open today.
So just for note, every person we walk by, Geode's saying hello. Good
Okay.
morning, how's it going? How you doing? Hey, good to see you today. As if he knows everybody, even though he knows not a single one of them.
Most people would respond positively. Most people respond with a hello, good day, how you doing? Top of the morning to you, all of those things. There are a few people who give you a look, but for the most part, everyone is pretty receptive to it.
Okay, they're all Geode's friends now.
Yeah, so you arrive to this outside of this red brick building with a wooden sign that looks in the shape of a scroll, and on it says the Lost Spell, and the door is propped open.
Geode's just gonna head right in. Pipnock, have you managed to find that item yet?
And you can see he's kind of like leaned back with like a cup of like coffee, and he's just sipping it. And he's like, Geode, yes, just the person I was looking for. I did find the item you are looking for. Just a moment. And he puts his coffee down and goes behind like this curtain and comes back out holding this kind of large warhammer. It's got like a brown wrapped leather handle. And then the hammer part itself has like these flames like etched into it, but the flames actually make a history check for me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's a 5.
A 5. Okay. It just looks like flames. Yeah.
Oh, they make it go faster.
Yeah.
I knew it.
And then upon Pipnock seeing you not really understand what he's holding, he goes, "This is one of the Flame Titan Warhammers. I'm not sure." Actually, upon him saying that, I would like all of you to roll history checks.
Uh-oh.
Do I get to roll one?
We lost
No,
one.
you can keep your 5.
Oh.
She didn't want to make a history check.
Yeah.
History table flip.
Yeah.
Hang on. Ah,
Yeah, we lost you.
I'm coming. My janky internet. Okay, what do I need to do?
A
History check.
History check? Okay.
I got an 18.
18. Okay.
13.
13.
10.
10.
Starting off the night inauspiciously with a nat 1.
Ah,
So
okay.
3.
Woo!
And I got a
cool.
5.
Dude, I have
5.
the hammer
We don't
fest.
know anything.
You guys did great.
I'm the only
I
one
would
who
say
knows about it.
With an 18, it kind of rings a bell. You know, it like the iconography and it reminds you of the period of time. I just closed my notes.
Oh,
That's not good.
Pop quiz. Good from memory.
Pop quiz, yes, from memory. The time of the Titans. And so they made certain weapons to help like continue to forge and defeat the Titans. So this could be one of them. It could just be a similar name. You're not really sure, but it kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, that's a strange name. Usually you gather that flame tends to loosen things, but if it's some sort of magical flame that might tighten things a little bit,
Is that possibly one of the Titan Slayers?
And then I will go ahead and copy this. And he says, as you say that, he says, yes, this is Roduvand. This is one of the Titan Slayers. And I will
You know,
put
Lannis,
this-
I think different kind of Titan. I think he means the Titans as in, big Titans, not Titan as in make it harder to open.
that actually, now that you mention it, makes a little bit more sense. Thanks for that. Yeah, that was my mistake.
Yes, that is definitely what I meant.
It's because I rolled a 1.
Does
That's a nice
anybody
bug.
else have anything to pick up?
And
No.
we
I think
said it was.
Did Imyth get his swords?
Yes, yeah. I think we picked those up. They happened to have those ready last time, fortunately.
Oh, that's right, because Lannis picked it up and was like, oh, okay.
Right.
From Lannis's perspective, cool, free
Yeah.
swords. But not really.
All right. So Pipnock just kind of sits there sipping his coffee as you guys kind of have this conversation, just listening.
Are there any new shiny things in the shop?
Yeah, that was
It's
gonna
been about 5 days.
Shinies.
Make an investigation check, unless you're asking.
Oh, I'm just looking around.
All right,
We're
investigation. All
browsing this
I'm
entire
gonna do the
time.
same.
Yeah, I think Landis also.
right.
He has a very specific thing in mind, though.
Let's see, investigation?
Yes.
9.
9. All right.
I'm not looking for anything magical, I'm just looking for shiny things.
Like trinkets. Okay.
Trinkets. Yeah.
Specifically shiny though, like
Yeah.
not like okay.
Anything
I
cool?
Not necessarily shiny, but you do see like a small, it's like a little tiny notebook. It's like about that big. You find like a little sculpture of a turtle. You've got like this weird, like, it's like a feather pen, but the feather is huge.
Fleur cannot pass
like
up
that.
the turtle.
No, she was actually fully going to pick up that turtle. And she's going to take the little unicorn gem that she got the last time, and she's going to set it down, and she's going to swap them out.
Okay.
Sorry, Chrissy.
Actually, oh, well, what is everyone else doing at this time?
I wanted to do that as well. I went ahead and rolled another investigation as well.
Okay, what
I
did you
got
get?
a
I'm sorry.
16.
16? Okay. Is there something particular you're investigating for?
Not particularly, but like just seeing if there's anything new that besides the ones that we saw before.
There's nothing really new in the aspect of magical items. It appears like he hasn't gotten much new in the way of stock. He's got a lot of other strange, like, knickknacks and, like, oddities, but there's nothing, like, magic items that he has gotten new that would be necessarily useful to you at this point.
Right. Okay.
Lannis also rolled a 14 to investigate, specifically looking for magical. Dub them as like hospitality things, like Grog's like tankard of endless mayo type of thing, just like
Okay.
soup cauldron and never ending. He's always running out of rations to give people, trying to find a way to circumvent that.
Okay, so you're looking for like food
Yes,
related
exactly.
things. Okay.
If ever somebody's hungry, he's always got something on hand to provide.
Okay. I would say you do come across a satchel that has like a little like olive branch on it. And you kind of open it up and look, and when you open it up, it smells very strongly of spices. It's very strongly, like, it's just like, it's like cinnamon and basil, and like, it's just like overwhelming smell of spices in your face. You're not quite sure what it does, but you could probably ask.
Yeah, I think he would have probably got too close to smell, and he'd be like kind of coughing as he's trying
Yeah.
What's this thing?
You found the snack bag.
Snack bag?
Snack bag, yes.
That's
It
exactly what
makes
I'm looking for.
it makes small snacks.
That
That
is
sounds useful.
amazing.
Yeah.
How much? How much is it?
The-
to pick that up?
Yeah, sure. It would be. Oh, hold on. Let me pull up my sheet of things.
Is there a limit to how much it makes in
Why
a
is
day?
it so hard to find items? There is a limit to how much it makes in a day. It can make up to 2 snacks a day. It resets basically it resets at the next dawn.
Yeah.
So.
Is it actually enchanted, or is it like the marble of gravity detection type thing, where as many snacks as you put into it in advance, it can produce on command?
No, it actually it's enchanted.
Sick.
It does make snacks. You're not sure the scope of its ability to make snacks, but it makes snacks. 50 gold pieces.
I found that in my pockets. We got that from the last time when we were helping that other fellow get away from the cows, so I think we'll grab that.
All right. He's like, I haven't really got to experiment a whole lot with it. So, I mean, I do know there is a limit to it based on my, my investigation of it, but I don't know what kind of snacks it does make.
You know if it requires
experimentation?
It does not require attunement.
Perfect.
Are there any plants in this shop? Just like potted plants?
Oh, there's like decor plants, yeah.
Are they like real plants though?
Oh no.
Make a nature check.
Nature.
Can Geode assist?
What was it?
Soft 20.
So okay. Yeah, there's one kind of larger bushy plant towards the front door that is real.
Okay. I'm going to go up to that, and I'm going to cast Good Berries, and I'm just going to pick off 10 Good Berries. And I can make snacks, too. And I will give everybody a berry. I'll say, but you don't want to eat too many of them in a day, otherwise you just really have problems pooping. So.
Good to know.
He says as Geode takes his handful, like, oh.
Yeah.
Tori, did we get gold from our side quest? Did we
Yes,
get,
you
or
did.
I didn't
think
write
you
down
did.
any.
I think
I
you
showed
said it was a
500 in party loot.
party. I think
Oh,
you
we
made
do party
fun.
loot. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
We
written.
got
So I just
500.
I
Like, I
divvied
didn't
that
write
up by
down any
6.
gold.
So
500 gold from it, I believe.
I don't need to buy anything though. I think I'm good. I was just curious.
I'm all set.
All right, I'm set to go when you guys are.
Okay.
oh, were we supposed to like keep that as a pool thing and not actually buy stuff? I might have to retcon. I misunderstood that if that was the case. I thought that we would just have that there to divvy up as needed. But
Lannis over here already
That's the
stealing our
plan.
money.
look at that. It doesn't need
I was gonna
to.
say, I'm pretty sure we decided that Lannis definitely did not have the party funds.
Oh, we definitely
Right.
decided
Oh,
that.
it was an actual
Because-
party fund though. Okay. Retcon all that stuff. I'll take it off. I'm sorry, that was my mistake.
But I think we would greenlight the snack
Yeah.
bag.
Go for it.
Yes.
I didn't want to assume. That was my bad. I apologize.
All right. So you get the snack bag.
Or should he not? I mean, it
Yes.
was just a dumb
Yeah,
thing
get
if he
the
had
snack
it, if he had it
bag.
for himself. But
He has his snack bag.
okay, all right. Just don't want to be that guy, you know.
No. You're getting snacks for other people.
Yeah.
It's a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out how to add it again. I had it all added and then I deleted it. The eldritch, arcane mysteries of D&D Beyond continue to elude me. Let's see, add. Either add items, right? Search.
Click on the currency.
I will write this up because it's not. I don't have it written up. It's a card that I
Okay.
have in front of me, so I will get that to you.
Oh, okay, cool. I just scribbled something in custom, but that works too.
Yeah, you can do whatever you'd like. You could scribble it in custom, and I can get to it later. I have a card here in front of me, but I will get that to you later.
Did you figure out the gold?
Gold, yes. Yeah, I got that figured out. I'm just trying to.
Okay.
You're right.
Well, I
Was
guess I
Fleur
don't have
able to
access to the
successfully
party.
swap out the unicorn for the turtle?
Oh yeah. Go ahead because there's not a whole lot going on. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
19.
19. Okay. No seeming issue.
Okay. So now I have a gemstone turtle instead of a gemstone stone unicorn.
Correct.
Apropos.
Yeah, I took the 50 gold pieces out of the party fund. I don't know if I technically have the party fund, but I just have it written down, so
Might as well.
I don't know if you went
And
through.
just like that, you are managing our party funds.
Sounds good.
You are now our
Treasurer.
accountant.
Got it.
All right.
So
We're ready
you
to head out
finish
to...
up at Pip Knox, and he says, "Thank you so much. I hope you have you're traveling, right? You're gonna bring back things because that was the deal."
Mm-hmm.
Anything I find that I have right to give, I will bring back to you.
I have a
Do you
4.
have any use for creatures like weapon things? There's a word for them, and the breath weapon things. I don't want to call them glands, but they're whatever.
Sack?
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know the glands. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Animal parts for making weapons with. Is that what you're talking about?
We got the stuff from the bulls. The
right.
breath weapon thing.
I forgot about that.
The bull
Yeah.
sacks.
The poison sacks.
Yeah, I didn't want to call them bull sacks, but
They're bull sacks.
That's why I mentioned it that way. Yes, I could tell you were totally on that. So,
he's like, what kind of creature were they?
would I know that?
really cranky kale.
They are
Very nice.
bark
We
bulls.
were tree bulls.
I think that's what they were called.
It was like cow, but made of tree.
Well, actually, let me.
Because just obviously, Dezyrae doesn't have a lot of experience with Fae stuff, so she probably had no idea what they were.
I've not heard of these creatures before, and they had like a breath weapon. You say?
Yes.
Yes.
I might be interested. May I see it?
Sure, and I will take out 2.
Oh, 2 bull sacks.
Yeah,
Bull sacks.
because that's what I have written down. That
Come
we have
on,
2
Megan,
of
let's
them.
get a visual.
No, I actually have Dark Bull breath weapon sack is what I have written down.
All right. So you hand them
They're
over.
called something.
A bull.
You hand them over, and he looks them over. He's like, these are very interesting. Yes, I would definitely purchase these from you. Let's see. How does...
Gonna hang him off the back of his wagon.
I was gonna say, yeah.
How does 125 gold pieces sound?
I don't know, how does 125 gold pieces sound to?
Make an insight check.
Mediocre. Plus... Oh, okay, so that's 14. So, mediocre.
It sounds a little low.
But he also did give us a really good deal on all of our stuff. So, yeah, we'll take the 100. Yeah, I was gonna say, is that each or for both?
Each.
Each. Okay, yeah,
It's not bad.
that sounds fair.
All right.
Fleur will ask if she can have the little unicorn, too.
So you bring the little unicorn up? All right. Yeah, I'm gonna make him roll for that.
Oh, poor Pitnock.
Do you think he
We're
wants
his
a little of,
favorite.
we could give him some Rocky Mountain oysters from the bank. Get along with the bull sacks.
He looks at the
Bay Mountain
unicorn,
oysters.
and he's like,
There's a mountain in there.
yeah, I mean, it's like 1 gold, but you could have it.
Okay. Well, can we have it for the thingies?
No, no.
Fleur, no.
No,
Oh, you wanna that?
no,
I don't.
no, no,
Hypnot looks to you, Dezyrae, and goes,
no, yeah, no.
"Oh, okay. Sure, you can have it. You can have the unicorn." And lets you take it, and then says to you, Dezyrae, "Just give me 1 gold, or take
Sure.
1
I'm gonna
gold.
give him a
I'll take 1 gold
ridiculous
off."
All right, sounds good.
So,
So 249 into the party fund.
yeah.
Yeah, we have 599 gold pieces.
Hooray!
So, all right.
We're off to see the wizard.
Yes.
Yes, you are. So you head out of Pipnox into the streets and into now into the thoroughfare and out of the city gates. And you head now towards the forest, where you know Mythenroar's tower to be. As you head there, you start to see just like it's kind of like grassy fields, and you just kind of like walk through them. There is like a small path that is like pushed down that kind of leads in the general direction. You actually, I would like everybody to make perception checks for me. Oh, I froze. Sorry.
Yep, you're good. Ooh, that's a good one.
5.
13.
I'm too high up. I don't see anything.
Oh,
Soft
come
20.
on. Come on, these dice, they're about done. That's about it.
28.
7.
7.
8.
Okay.
Thanks for the most
Okay.
part, spent +5.
So anybody who got a 20 or above, you would see that there are actually quite a few of these like push down paths through the grass. It's not just this one path that you're traveling, but they're kind of spaced a bit out. You're not really sure what they are or where they came from or what the deal is, but there are quite a few of these little paths.
Like coming from different directions.
Yeah.
Okay. Were they here last time we went this way?
Yes, but I don't think any of you caught onto it when you rolled for it.
Okay.
Or I may have forgotten, but shh.
Okay.
So you head towards the tower. You eventually get there, and you see this tall tower that looks like it's got like little like they're almost like balcony parts, but they're not balconies. They're like little pods that stick off the edge that are like rooms that are off the edge of the tower, and it almost looks like a little mushroom, like like a stem of a mushroom with like the little mushroom parts growing off. And out front there's like a little white picket fence with a little garden inside, and then a door that leads to the interior of the tower. As you approach, you can see who had the 28. Okay, you see up at a top window, you see a flash of movement as you approach through the window.
Does it look like a tiny being or a large being?
I would say it looks like a larger being.
Okay.
I'm not
Didn't
one
know
of those
if it
little indie
was-
friends.
Yeah, the little imps.
Mhm.
Fern and somebody else, because I don't have their name. But I have Fern written down. Okay. Alright, so I just clock that and continue to move towards the tower.
Okay. So you approach the tower, and you head into the little garden area to knock on the door?
Mhm.
Okay. So you walk in, you knock on the door, you wait a few moments, and the door swings open. And before you, you see two small imps. You see one that is wearing a little blue vest, and the other is wearing like blue robes. And they go, "Ah, yes, adventurers. How are you doing? Please come in, come in." And they kind of swing, they both push on the door together to push the heavy door open and let you both in. Or let you all in.
Geode's gonna help push the door.
Okay.
He's gonna try and be sneaky about it, but
Okay.
They're probably
just
stronger
gonna...
than me, so I'm not going to worry about it.
So does that mean they've overcompensated and the door goes flying open?
Yeah.
Cartoon style.
Definitely one of them slips off the door as the door moves out from in front of them. But they recover and they keep pushing. And you guys kind of walk into this this tower. And you're met with this like sitting area with a I almost said furnace, but that's not what I wanted to say.
Fireplace?
Fireplace is what I wanted to say.
An incinerator.
Yes, massive black hole of doom.
Yeah, exactly. A little orb of destruction just set in the mantle.
This fireplace with like a picture over it and just some furniture spread about. It's darker in here. It's got a patterned wallpaper. And you're instructed to sit and wait until the Arcanist is ready to see you.
Ennis is continuously trying to retool the bag so it only puts out smells of like ginger and cinnamon and nutmeg and all that stuff. In honor of the impending Halloween is almost here.
Yes.
Geode's going to be focusing on his new Warhammer.
Okay.
Just trying to start that attunement process.
To chill in somewhere.
Okay. So you stay back in a shadowy corner. You pull out the Warhammer and begin attuning to it. You are focused on making these smells not as overpowering and crazy. You're trying to get rid of that basil.
They're very overpowering, but we're just trying to get the right spice profile.
Right. You're trying to get rid of that basil. That basil's really
basil's
throwing
really
it off.
throwing off. Yeah.
That's because of the meatballs, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Pesto, basil, what's all this? No. Oregano, come on.
And you sit there, and a few moments, like a little bit of time passes, like 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass, and Mythenroar still has not come down. The imps are kind of just chilling, just watching over you guys. And the one wearing the vest comes over to you, Geode, and goes, where'd you get that?
Oh, I bought it from Pipnock.
Oh, interesting.
Is there a problem with it?
No, it's just really interesting looking. He just kind of stares at you.
Oh, I'm inciting that.
I was gonna say I'm inside checking this little guy.
Yeah, inside away.
Turns out his godfather was a Titan, and he's very
18.
I'm also keeping an eye on the other imp, just because I don't trust this little duo.
15.
15?
And 18.
That was a natural 1 on my insight, so I don't notice anything. I'm too busy focused on the other one.
Okay. So you see... Alright, so the highest was an 18, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got that. He's definitely like inspecting the weapon, but he's trying to be inconspicuous about it, but is not being very inconspicuous about it.
Is there a problem with the fact that I have a Warhammer out?
No, not at all. I just really, it's pretty looking.
It is.
Why don't you sit next to me then, and we can look at it over together.
Oh, okay. And he kind of like sits down on the couch next to you and just kind of like stares at it for a while longer.
We'll both just stare at it.
You see there. Look at that little fire. It's kind of cool looking.
It is kind of cool. And he actually, while you're staring at it, points out a few things that you missed on the Warhammer. There are a set of runes carved into some of the leather. And you also see that they're in the fire that's curved on the actual hammer itself. You can actually see what looks to be almost like faces or like elemental nature, like not elemental as in like fire, but elementals as in like fire elementals.
Okay.
So
what language are the runes in?
what languages do you know?
Common and primordial.
Interesting. They're primordial.
Woo!
So the runes are actually written in basically I forget what it's called, the fire version of primordial.
Okay.
Ignis or something, isn't it?
Ignis,
Yeah,
yes, I think
Ignis.
that's exactly what it's called. And it actually says hold on, let me pull up my notes so I don't butcher this. I was trying to go from memory, but that never works well for me. To rid them all.
Mm.
To rid them all.
To rid them all.
Okay.
You know what those runes say there, little fella?
Actually, I think he does. Let me pull up his sheet. NPCs. Oh.
Just can't not
He
hear
doesn't know.
imps.
He does not know. But yeah, maybe one of the other ones would have known, but he does not know. He's like, no, what does that say?
Oh, see, it's a story. Right, primordial is a weird language. Lots of words and little numbers, right? It's a story of a flame smiter.
Oh.
I will absolutely roll deception if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Actually, that's not terrible. That's a 16.
16? Okay, hold on. Let's see. He has. No, he rolled a 14. So he's like, "Ooh, okay, okay."
There's a big long story with it, right? It's talking about smiting the flames of the world and bringing them into this hammer. See, there's something about this hammer. When you really want to get into it, it can cause quite an explosion.
Interesting. Because, like, I was reading, like, this hammer really gives me feelings of, like, the Titans and the War of the Titans and, like, everything that happened with that. Like, Annie would actually know more.
Well, yeah, of course it had to do with the Titans. But before the Titans, there were the elements, right? And so the elements are part of the Titan Wars. And
Yeah.
He's gonna trail off like, oh boy. Oh no.
This line's getting longer than I meant for it to.
Do we hear anything like upstairs? Do we hear
roll a
I feel
perception check.
like we've been waiting for a while.
You
Yeah,
have.
I was wanting.
Yeah,
to
that was
ask,
my.
14.
How much longer has it?
14. You don't hear anything upstairs.
Okay.
Seems relatively quiet.
From my little shadowy corner, do I see like a little shadowy corner within 60 feet up the stairs at all?
So the way it's laid out, you would have to be kind of right at the edge of the stairs to look up the stairs, because the stairs kind of curve up.
Okay.
How much longer has it been since the last time we came and we waited for him?
It's been about 3 or 4 days.
Well, no, I mean, the first time we visited him, how long did we stay before he showed up and talked to us?
Probably like 10 or 15 minutes.
And it's been about how long now?
Probably close to 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too much longer.
The imps don't seem concerned really or anything, just kind of just chilling and
doing their own thing.
hanging out.
And so what was your what
I did a 14 perception.
roll did you just make on the other imp, Megan? Or Dezyrae? Oh, no, you're good.
I didn't make a roll, but I said I was watching the other imp to make sure that it wasn't.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
That's cocked. Rolled it right into my dice. I'm going to take that as a sign to not roll that dice again. Oh, okay, that's good. So that's 16 plus 9, 25.
25, okay. You see the imp kind of like fly behind a plant in the corner or like next to the door and then like go invisible.
Snap. Hijinks are afoot.
I'm very alert now, and actually, do I have anything that I can, see shit with? Because, no, I don't. That's right, because I'm a ranger. I don't have spells. Cool. So,
Slowly make my way to the stairs and start going up unless anybody stops me.
Okay.
Well, Mirage, do you know Thieves Can't? Okay, so I will
We
subtly.
absolutely can. I don't want to hear that negativity.
Yeah.
I will
Can help.
subtly kind of. Because I feel, isn't Thieves Can't supposed to be not necessarily a spoken language, but like
Right,
hand
it can
signals?
be-
It's like a hand signals, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
hand signals.
According
Mhm.
to the description, it's like weaving it into your everyday language. So
I would-
basically, you'd be you'd basically
Like
be
double speak,
saying
kind
things, saying things that don't completely make sense, but they'll make sense to everyone else.
Mhm.
You add a
I
few.
would-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say, I would say you could do hand signals. That's fine.
Okay.
There's probably a known set of hand signals that are associated with some
Yeah.
of Thieves Can't.
Yeah, like there's the
because I've
symbols
also
that are
done
drawn.
the Thieves Cants that are drawn as
Yeah.
well. So there's like a lot of variant to that. So I would
Okay.
say
Give
that's
me
fine.
one of these.
Yeah, like they'll just letting you know that one imp has gone invisible,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know what it's doing.
Okay.
But I have noticed the signs as well.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Got your rogue too.
Well, that was a natural 1, but perception makes it a 3.
Natural 1 is a natural 1, so that's a no. You are distracted. You are distracted with Geode's story right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very enthralled by
That's-
it.
Yeah, I
Probably
figure
the
with that
almost
imp,
offensively strong spice smells that Lannis is
Yeah.
creating.
with that imp distracted, I'm just gonna, not in a hurry, just gonna look up, start walking upstairs unless anybody
Okay.
stops me.
As this all happens, you hear like a thunk upstairs. As you doing this, as you're approaching the stairs, you see coming around down the stairs, you see Mythenor, kind of disheveled looking, definitely has some stuff on his face, and he comes fluttering down the stairs. And he goes, adventurers, I am so sorry. And he's like carrying like a bunch of stuff in his arms. And he goes, please, actually, come upstairs. I've converted it. I've converted it into more of a discussion room. And he kind of like quick turns on his heels and runs back up the stairs.
Insight.
Sure.
Heck. Ooh,
Sorry,
that's
didn't follow
good.
me.
That's 23.
23. He just seems flustered and just all over the place. He
Okay.
does not seem to be deceiving in any way.
Okay.
He just like trying to get you guys.
I was already heading that way,
Yep.
so I'll just follow him up.
Okay.
You all right?
Are you talking to Mythenor?
I think
Yeah. He's already mostly up the stairs, but he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just, I've got lots of stuff to give you.
Okay.
Head on up.
Okay.
Yep, Lannis is
Yep.
proceeding upstairs.
I'll be last to go up, and I want to just do one last quick scan of the room before I head up.
Okay. Go ahead and make one more perception check.
Okay, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
That
Okay.
20's very dirty.
You see, at, like, behind Geode, like a little shimmer of something.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to... Hang on, I want to check something. Can I, like, see a shape within that? Or just, like, a shimmer?
You just see a shimmer.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try, because, your rule of cool. Can I try to cast Hunter's Mark on that shimmer?
Mm.
Sure, I'll allow it.
Okay. So I'm gonna Hunter's Mark.
Do they know if they've been hunters marked?
I don't know, let's
I don't
see.
think so.
I don't think this
Yeah.
all mentions that.
I don't think it ever actually gave a description of that. It just says like,
Yeah.
you mark.
You
it.
just choose
I mean,
a
it is a-
creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry.
Okay.
It is a spell,
Then
so
I'll
they
say.
might notice that, the casting of
Yeah.
it. But
I will say that is fine, and you've now hunters marked this being.
Okay. Well, do I get a sense of what this being is as I Hunter's Marked
it's
it?
the little imp.
It's a little. I just wanted to be sure. You never know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
She knows to be wary. Yeah, I gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you guys head upstairs, and you now see what was the dining room last time has kind of been converted almost into like a war room of a sense, but not really a war room. It's more like a meeting room.
Conference room?
almost. Yeah, like a conference room. Yeah, basically. There's like a map on the wall, and there's like just kind of like a desk in the corner, and like a big round table in the center. And he kind of has thrown all his papers onto the table in the center so that you guys can all gather around and see what he's about to show you. So I will show you guys something in roll 20. I should have figured this out. I should have made a map for Mythenroar so that everybody on stream isn't seeing the Faetful Frolics screen, but so he shows you, the first thing he shows you is this. Which is a map of the Drakkart Forest in comparison to the portal to the Feywild. And he goes, this is how you get to the portal. This is kind of, I kind of adjusted it to make it a little better and cleaner, but this is what Theodore told me is the best way of getting to the portal. You can see there's another town and another town and the mountains. The tower is my tower, and if you just walk basically straight there, it's only a couple days journey. So that's your best bet.
We see the horses from our side quest.
You could probably still get the horses. Yeah.
Do we want to have
but the thing is the horses are back in town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we want them here.
Yeah.
Doesn't time move differently inside the Feywild?
Yes, it does. So time is a weird soup, really. But Theodore always says that. But basically, time can either move faster while you're there, it can move slower while you're there, or it can move the same speed. I don't get to make that decision. Theodore doesn't get to make that decision. Like crazy art phase get to make that decision.
Are there any other kind of archfey?
So he laughs at that. That's a good one. I don't think there are, to be honest.
Not from this perspective, I get it.
The Feywild does something to them.
Yeah, I think it does.
Does that mean it's gonna do something to us?
Oh,
shouldn't.
Probably. Well, maybe
Shouldn't.
temporarily.
It could. It could. There's always a possibility. But it really shouldn't. But there's some things you should watch out for in the Feywild. And he kind of shuffles that one away and he pulls out another map. And he shows you this map. He says, okay, now this is the Feywild side of things. So the X is the portal. And then the big tree is the father tree where Theodore lives. All these other things are things he's marked for stuff that happens in the Wilderbrush in the Feywild, which is kind of the big forest that's in the Feywild. So I only know of 2 things that are on this map. The rest are kind of unknowns to me, because he didn't make like a legend to like let me know. These are like his maps. These are not my maps. I've never been there. I don't know what these are, so forgive me. So the top left is a cave, and it leads somewhere scary. I wouldn't go there. Just avoid it. And then on the middle left is a little house. That's a hag hut. I'd also avoid it.
Does Fleur know any of these locations as far as
I guess the same for Landon.
not necessarily the same points exactly, but would she have reference of what might be over there around some of these places?
You might. Go ahead and make a history check.
All right.
I was also wondering if like I could investigate or something to figure out like what some of these legends might mean.
That would be a 15.
A 15. So I will get to you in a second, Annalise. So for you, Fleur, I would say you recognize two of the symbols on this map. You recognize the skull and crossbones, and you recognize the paw. Both of those are factions. And the skull and crossbones is a group of kind of evil, like dryads that have turned bad. And they kind of like live in that area of the forest, and that's kind of corrupted that area of the forest. And then the paw print is where a group of, I always say this wrong, lycanthropes, where people live. So that's what you recognize from this map. The other symbols do not mean anything to you, and their location do not mean anything to you. The hag hut you might recognize. There are a lot of hags in the Feywild, so I mean, they could be anywhere, but that one doesn't give any kind of like immediate pings. You have heard of the Father Tree. It is a very large tree in the Feywild that is supposed to be very like magical and things of that nature.
With me being a ranger, could I make some kind of check to see if these map icons are just like generalized map icons that are just used in regular wilderness maps?
Could I assist with that with my navigator tool expertise?
Absolutely. So I would say go ahead and make a survival check with advantage.
Sweet.
I guess I don't.
Oh yes.
Right.
Go ahead. You can keep going.
It'd probably be better for the ranger to do that, right?
I would say yes. It would be better for the ranger to do that as well. But I would say, based on your history, I don't think you would have any knowledge that would allow you to know anything about this.
Okay.
26.
26. They don't mean anything in particular to you. They are not standard icons. None of them. I mean, obviously, like the house is like a standard icon. Like that makes sense to you. The cave symbol is a standard icon, and the hills and the trees are. But like the other icons don't. They're a little different. Even if they are close to something else, you can't quite make out what they mean or what they're supposed to symbolize.
And they don't mean anything in Thieves' Cant, do they? They're not a Thieves' Cant symbol?
No, they are not a Thieves' Cant symbol.
In Druidic, perhaps? I think one of our party members speaks Druidic.
No, they are not Druidic.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, because I don't remember if it got covered or not, the lycanthropes.
Yes.
Are they friendly or are they not friendly? So we know the dryads aren't friendly.
So the lycanthropes, they are not evil, but they're not necessarily, they're surviving. They're not like, they're
they might
neutral.
just be territorial.
I guess they're neutral. Yeah, they're territorial, but they're neutral.
Okay.
Gotcha. I just wasn't sure what.
We don't bother them, they won't bother us,
Correct.
possibly. Okay.
This is Theodore's map, but you don't know what it means.
I've never traveled there, so I've never needed it before. He's been working on trying to make a better Feywild map for like traveling and things of that nature. I'm lucky I even have this, but I really don't know what these things mean.
So, just be that individual. What would it be worth to you to know what they mean?
I mean, if you
Obviously,
can't
after
find
we figure out Theodore.
If you can't
That's-
find Theodore, it might be interesting, but that would be terrible. And I would hope we could find Theodore, because if we can find Theodore, Theodore can tell us what they mean.
Good point.
Yep, that's true.
I would assume this skull and crossbones is probably not something we need to go to.
No.
They're just not very nice dryads.
Yeah.
They're a little cranky.
I've already had a run-in with dryads. No thanks.
Kind of tied into those exploding trees that you hear about on the news every so often.
Oh, we're gonna
They
explode
yeet their
some
seeds
trees.
far and wide.
All right, let's explode some trees. Can't be any more entertaining than seeing a cannon fire at a ship. So, well,
Okay.
we have our map.
I guess the dotted lines are the paths that we're supposed to take. Maybe recommended by Theodore or something if we were to
Yes,
try and go.
those are recommended paths. I don't know why he goes around whatever that thing in the middle is, but that's what he recommends.
So probably avoid it.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun.
Avoiding it?
It
Well,
sounds like a good way to survive, though.
I like
Plenty
survival
of sights
better.
to see in the Feywild, though. We don't want to miss out on anything if we're there, you know?
why don't we find Theodore first, and then we can explore. I'm all for exploring the Feywild. I've never been. As you
Well, wait.
recall, Drakkar Forest was the first forest I've ever been in, so I am all for the exploring.
Well, there's plenty of status with stews there as well, but the stews tend to be a little bit more... It's a bit of a toss-up as to whether it's a good thing or a bad thing to eat from.
Do any of us have the ability to find someone if we have something that belonged to them, or... And I do not have that skill, but I don't know if any of you have something that
Fleur will
would
druid
like
craft
that.
a flower and give it to you, and then she will tell you, I can find you now.
I am not hiding. If I was hiding, I don't know if you could find me.
I could find you. If you have my flower, I could find you.
That might come in handy.
Tuck it in my hair.
Can you do that for multiple people?
I
or
can.
just that one? Maybe we should, I'll get a flower.
Right?
Then you could help us find each other if someone gets
Could
lost.
be the touchstone.
So she'll make flowers for everybody.
Okay.
But I don't know if anybody has like scry or, locate object or anything that would,
Divination.
like if we had something of Theodore's once we got into the Feywild that would help us find him. Mirage does not have anything like that.
I'm
Dezyrae
writing
is
it
just
Fleur,
gonna-
it's Fleur.
Desiree's just gonna kind of hold the flower because she doesn't have hair. She's just kind of like, I don't know where to, and she just kind of like tucks it
We'll make
into
another
like
one
her
and
cloak
just tuck
pocket.
it, like, in the part of your armor.
Yeah, there we go. That works too.
Annalise is gonna put it in her braid, like near the top.
Geode's gonna feed it through one of his earrings.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
It's magnificent. I'll have to make sure to leave a note to tell the others not to lose the flower.
Right?
Mhm. That's a very handy item.
So nobody has any skill of that nature?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I suppose Mythenrower maybe would be the most likely to have had something like that, potentially.
Oh, he definitely does, and he's kind of like, he gets, you all get the sense he gets distracted very easily, and just kind of like, he's like over at the desk now, fiddling with something, and he's just kind of like doing his own thing, and he hears his name, and he comes back over to the table and goes, oh, what did you need me to do?
I was wondering if there was a spell or skill that you might have to give us a detailed location on Theodore. Or if that does not work across the Feywild.
It does not work across the plains. I wish I could scry, but I can't scry because it's a different plane.
Right.
Do you have any leaves from the big tree that he lives in?
The leaves?
Yeah.
I'm not
Leaves,
sure.
flowers, branches.
I don't think so, but he's like, wait here, I'll be right back. And he goes up the set of stairs further up into the tower. You wait a few moments. He comes back down. And he's like, he comes back down with a jar that has a large mushroom in it. And says, this is, oh, I don't have it up here. A large purple mushroom in it, and says, this is from right outside the tree. Would that help?
Maybe.
Okay.
And I just want to look at it and
Okay.
figure out what type of mushroom it is, if I can.
Okay.
Or at least know enough about it that I could cast locate animals or plants if I needed to.
You take a good amount of time and you inspect it. You thoroughly look it over and all this stuff, and you're able to. You would be able to locate plants on it if you needed to.
Take a nibble.
Want to put some basil on that first?
Would Eclipse? Nope, not Eclipse. Wrong person. It's just such a habit,
Right?
Would Dezyrae know anything about like spell scrolls to see if he has like maybe a spell scroll of scrying, locate creature, anything like that that we could take with us and then use?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Have to keep rolling it into my dice. I don't think my Arcana is very high. It's not, but that was a good roll, so that's a 19.
19. Okay. You've heard of spell scrolls, and you have a pretty good understanding of what they do. You could ask about them if you wanted to. But
yeah, I would.
Okay. So you ask. He's like, they take a long time. I don't usually make them because I could do everything myself, so.
Fair. It was just a thought. Well, if that is all, I suppose we ought to get going.
Probably should.
So too.
Okay.
Is there like a pencil or something on the table?
Yeah, there's writing implements.
Okay. I'm just
Geode,
gonna pick one up.
Make a perception check.
Oh
Not a
dear.
little klepto.
I was gonna say, is my hunter's mark tingling anything, or?
Oh,
That
yeah.
is 21.
21. Your hunter's mark is aware of the creature in the room. I'm not sure how much of it you're paying attention to.
I'm paying
You
a
see the
decent
imps.
amount of attention
Okay,
to it
it's around
because.
Geode. It's like staying around Geode.
Okay. So it's like, I'm paying attention, but I'm keeping like one eye on Geo just to make sure that nothing, happens.
You see, Geode, you feel like something tugging at your belt where your warhammer is.
Oh, oh no.
I'm gonna make an attack.
Okay, go for it.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be a whap.
Go for it.
So that is that's a 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
You hear a little as you feel this as your spell is as something goes flying across the room. Let me just check something about the invisibility until its concentration ends. Yeah, so you would see, and then it would appear as it flies across the room, and you see Annie in her robes kind of scuttle across.
You know, where I'm from, stealing comes with a cost.
I wasn't trying to steal. And she kind of puts her hands up. I just wanted to identify it.
Insight.
Go ahead.
We're such a trusting group.
That's a 19.
A 19. She appears to be telling the truth.
Then why didn't you ask?
Well, you see, Arcanist Mythenroar has this policy about if he doesn't know about it, it doesn't matter. So, like, he doesn't want us to touch things, but if we can learn about it ourselves without him knowing, then it's better off, you know? So we have to be a little sneakier about it.
Not why didn't you ask Mythenroar, why didn't you ask me?
Well, you know, I thought the same policy applied. I didn't realize. Sorry. And she just kind of like flutters down and kind of like looks extremely guilty and like sad.
I'll drop the hunter's mark.
Okay.
Come here.
She kind of flaps over.
I'll take the warhammer out.
Okay. Oh,
Do
you'll let
your
me?
thing.
Oh, and you see she begins to cast. Do any of you arcane casters?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, druids are like a weird fine line of things.
Well, and she's also part warlock, part sorcerer, so
Okay,
I mean,
so I would say you
there's a
can
lot
make,
going on.
you can make an arcana check to see if you recognize what she's casting.
Oh, Fleur's not paying any attention to it.
Okay,
So,
then don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
She's over there trying to steal a pencil. She got
Yeah.
priorities.
Thanks, Fleur. Thanks.
Annie finishes up her incantation. As you see her eyes, they go golden for a moment, and then they settle back down. And she's like, wow, that's really powerful what you got there. And it confirms my suspicions.
Do me a favor. I know you heard the story I told your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep that story. Call it a favor for a favor.
Deal. And you see she takes out like a little tiny notebook from her pocket, and she starts taking notes in her notebook.
Okay.
Well, with that fun out of the way, might it be time to head off to the Feywild?
Yes, you wanted a pencil. Yes, there were writing implements. Were you just going to take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna pick up a pencil.
Mythenroar is so absent-minded he does not notice. So you have a pencil now.
You take trinkets wherever you go, don't you?
Pretty much.
Souvenirs.
What are those creatures that are always filling their pockets?
Ender?
I'm gonna look it up now.
Nifflers?
No,
That's
not
what I was
nifflers.
thinking.
It's I'll find it. I'll figure it
Okay,
out.
all right. So you head back down the tower. Mythenroar guides you out with the two maps and says, "Good luck. If you need me, if you have magical ways of calling upon me, please call upon me. If not, well, hopefully I'll see you when you get back. Yes, please, good luck. Please bring Theodore back. I really miss him." And you can see kind of like genuine sadness on his face.
We'll find him.
And he kind of
Sure, it's
ushers
just
you
fine.
all out. And as he ushers you out, gives kind of like lingers in the door for a moment, but then closes the door behind you all.
All right.
Well, shall we get the horses?
I would say no, because we'll just have to leave them by the portal.
Right, and we don't know how long we'll be in there.
Right.
Is the portal too small for horses or something? Or
I don't know if taking the horses into the Feywild is a good idea, because horses are noisy. And if we're trying to kind of not attract attention of things that we don't know about, probably taking horses is not the best idea,
Well, we could
in my
probably,
opinion.
we could probably leave them at Hartsvale.
Well, are we stopping there, or do we just go through the forest?
So you could go either way. It's probably quicker to go just directly through the forest. It's about 2 to 3 days directly through the forest. It's probably about 4-ish days going through the path.
I vote for the forest.
Yes, as do I.
Yep.
That sounds fun.
I enjoy a good stroll.
I mean, I am on foot either way, so it makes no difference to me.
All right. So you guys begin to head into the forest. And with that, we are going to take a quick break. So while we take this break, we'll be doing a giveaway for a set of dice by kids.
Good luck, everybody.
So, yes, the code will be in the
Shiny thing.
the chat. And we will be back here in about 10 minutes, and we'll see you all shortly. So, yeah, hope you're enjoying it. All right, we are back. So, all right. The entry has been drawn for the dice, and you're never gonna guess who won.
Who?
Mama Bear, 285.
Congratulations!
Congrats, Mama Bear.
Congrats, Mama Bear.
Enjoy the click-clacks.
Yeah.
Although I will say we have turned her into the biggest dice dragon that has ever did live. She has like 6 dice bags filled with dice now and won't let anybody touch them. I know. We've been trying to get her in the horde, but she's still nervous about being on stream. So we play at home. She's great at home, but she's nervous about being on stream. So
Yeah,
All right.
I tried to get her to do the Birds of a Feather game because she is real life bard,
yeah, she
but
is.
she wouldn't sign up.
Oh.
I know.
So, Megan, same address as yours,
Yeah.
but her name's Debbie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Debbie, those are going out to you.
All right. Cool beans. That was so funny. I just looked over and I saw that and I was like, ay.
It's all good. It's all good.
More dice. All right. All right, so jumping back in. You guys had just left Arcanist Myth Henror's tower and are heading into the woods, I presume?
Yes.
Okay.
Into the wood.
Into the
woods.
unknown.
Into the unknown, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Um,
I like
All
that
right.
song a lot better than Into the Woods.
all right, so who's taking point?
Oh,
I can take
maybe
point.
the ranger?
Probably
Yeah.
the Ranger, yeah.
All right, so I would like you to go ahead and make a survival check for me.
You got it. Do I get advantage for somebody helping me, or am I just solo doing this?
No one said they were helping you, so you're just doing it solo.
I can investigate.
Probably a good idea
Oh,
not
good.
to let Geode lead the way again. Remember, this is his 3rd time in a forest now.
Yeah. I do remember that. All
I'll
right. let's
investigate
go.
our map to help you.
Yeah, I did pretty
Actually,
good.
you know what? I will say you do have a map, and you do have proficiency with that kind of. You're reading a map. You're reading the land. I will give you advantage because you do have the map now.
Okay. I will take the first roll. So that is a 23.
23. Okay, so you guys begin to head into the woods. Based on the map and based on the landmarks on the map and all of this stuff, you get the sense it's going to take about 2 to 3 days to get to the portal. Depending on the speed that you travel and, things that occur during that time.
Looking at the map,
Yes.
would I be able to kind of try to figure out where maybe Salvatorian's hut was along the path?
Yes. Actually, I could probably put it into your. It's actually in all of your journals now. So you can look at it yourself. If you look at the Draghart Forest map, you will actually see a small house on the bottom.
Okay.
and that is Salvatorian's hut.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess Salvatorian's a little out of the way for. He still makes a mean stew. So maybe on the way back.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
So how fast do we? I'm pretty fast. I do 45. Is anybody like super slow that might want to piggyback?
I do 40, so.
I do 40 as well.
Fleur?
I skip at 30, so.
Skip.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Menace is 30 as well.
All right. I can't hold all of you.
So
Alright,
you all
so-
move at a reasonable pace through the forest. Now, as you move deeper into the forest, the harder it will be to move, and it will become more difficult terrain. But right now, you're at the outskirts, so it's a little looser and not as hard
I feel
to
like
traverse.
I can't. Difficult terrain doesn't affect, but let me
I
just.
think it only doesn't affect you.
That's possible.
I can dash and make it not.
And her
affect
favorite
me.
terrain, yeah.
Yeah, if it's favorite terrain, I don't think it affects the party.
Yeah, it allows the whole party to
Well,
move at the...
Yeah, but that's not my favorite terrain, so that's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Weren't you
Where
just
are we
talking about how
starting
you really
from?
love forests? I remember that somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm only one level away, I think, from getting my second favorite terrain, so perhaps if we,
Every squirrel on the way.
Tori, where are we starting from?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Where are we starting from?
If you look at the Drakkart map, you'll see down in the bottom left a little tower.
The castle looking.
Yeah, the castle-looking thing, and then you're
Okay.
going to the X.
Okay.
So,
Oh, we're going to the X. We're not following the dotted lines.
the dotted line is actually the path to.
Okay, and we're going through the forest instead,
through the
right?
forest
Got
instead. Yes, the path is actually the paths that take you to and from the different cities. You could
Okay.
go that way if you wanted to.
No,
but it would take longer.
Yeah, no, we'll just go through the forest.
Okay. So you're making your way, no problem. I will say for the first day, it goes out without issue. And will you be helming, looking for somewhere to rest for the evening?
I suppose, yeah.
Well, you
If
don't
I'm-
have to. I'm just asking. Purely asking.
I
don't
will
know,
help you
as-
look. I will help you look for
Hey.
somewhere.
Okay.
I have advantage on
Sounds good.
So you get to a point where the sky starts to get a little more dusk. The trees start to show that purplish hue, and those small little twinkling lights that caress the bottom of the trees start to come out. So I'd like both of you to make perception checks, please.
24.
12.
Okay. So you both look around and you eventually settle on a little spot. It's a little smaller clearing, and it's well shrouded by trees, so you think it would be okay to start a fire here. You can actually see through the canopy of trees. It's not interlocked at this point, so you can actually see the night sky. You all...
Is it cold?
It's cool. It's not cold.
Okay.
It's it's brisk at night, but it's not like uncomfortable.
All right, who wants first watch?
Well, why don't we? We've been traveling for a couple of hours now. Why don't we try to? I don't know the forest at night, and I don't really trust it, and I want to do something before we set up here. Why don't we try to move a little further away and try to give, if anything was giving us a follow, try to give it the slip. And our Geode will merge with stone and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
If he's doing that,
Interesting.
I would
Oh,
like to.
dang it.
What was the ability? Never mind. It's just a bonus action to do that.
Okay. All right, so you do that. So everybody is making a stealth check to move a little bit further away then.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
go
know
ahead and
that
make stealth
idea.
checks.
You
do
get to
that
add plus
until I
10.
started to
Plus 10.
Yep.
What did you say, Fleur? Sorry.
So I'm just gonna start undoing the camp that I started to make. So
27.
Okay,
34.
Natural 20 for 30.
nice.
15.
Oh, good.
Okay. That's not
Okay.
too bad.
That's the second time that dice has gotten caught. Jesus.
Oh. Cow.
Cocky
Not really
dice.
great, but
26 before Pass Without Trace.
Nice.
nice. Only a 29, which
So
sucks.
nice. Okay. Which sucks. You are funny. All right, so you all move on and head just a little bit further. Actually, interesting. So you all move a little bit further on, and you find a different clearing. As the sun grows a little bit darker, and you see the little bit of like dancing little tiny specks of light come out that coat the bottoms of the trees, and you find another little clearing, no problem, and you can bed down in this one. This one's a little bit bigger of a clearing than the last one. But again, you can see up into the stars, no problem.
Is there a way that I can, like, double back to see if anything was following us?
You could if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll do that just in case.
Okay, go for it. Make a perception check.
Do that while we're setting up camp.
Yeah.
Do you want Geode to come with you so you still have the plus 10?
I think Pass Without a Trace is just you have to be within 30 feet when you cast it, I thought.
No, you
and
have
it
to
sticks
stay
with
within
you.
30
Stay within
feet.
30 feet.
You have to stay within 30 feet of them.
Oh. Yeah, sure. If he wants to
All
come.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. That's a 25.
For your perception as well?
No, perception. I thought we were stealthing back. I'm sorry. That's an 18.
18. Okay.
Okay. And my perception is a 22.
Okay. So you guys go
Fleur?
head back. What, Fleur, are you going?
Fleur would turn invisible and just kind of sneak behind them.
Okay.
So I don't know if I need to roll stealth because
Yeah.
I'm going to be,
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Same level?
stealth.
which I get a plus 10 because I'm within 30 feet.
Yeah?
An advantage because you're invisible.
Oh, that advantage because I'm invisible is really good because that was. So that's 9 plus 5 is 14 plus 24.
24. Okay. And I will say both of your perception checks were not high enough to notice that. So,
Just barely, though.
just barely, but nope. So you guys move along back towards the path that you took. Interesting. Let me just pull something up real quick.
Did we accidentally ruin something?
Oh no, never
Absolutely,
ruining anything.
Yeah.
Never ruining
That was actually
anything.
really smart because that's the Tory way. Is you bed down for the evening. Everything looks clear. Wink, wink. That's why you never hit the long rest button until she says you successfully completed a long rest because
Correct. Correct.
she's notorious for that.
She's notorious.
I mean, she puts the Tory in notorious, right?
That's our new screen name. No Tori.
Okay, so your perception check was 22, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fleur, are you looking for anything, or are you just following?
I'm just following them. At some point, I'm going to jump onto Geode's back and just give him a big hug and say, boop.
All right, so...
He's rolling.
All right, so you guys get back to where you are. With a 22 perception, you would pick up on there is definitely something that tried to cover its tracks.
Oh, so it's something smart. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do Primeval Awareness.
Sure.
And that means I can sense... Oh, right, we said I can only sense one of the things or all of the things?
Oh, we said all of the things. That's fine.
Okay. So, do you want me to list them, or...
Yeah, because I always forget. No, I'm looking something else up.
Okay, so it's aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. Within 1 mile.
Within
All of those things within 1 mile.
So much. It's so much.
It's a good thing we're not in my favorite terrain, because it would have been 6 miles. But
this is not what I want. Here we go. Pretty sure this is what I need.
Gonna light up the map like a Christmas tree right now.
Okay.
yeah.
What doesn't ping is the shorter list, I gather.
Yeah, okay. So go over the list one more time for me. I could probably look it up. Remind me, actually, I'm going to write that down. What is this called? Primeval Awareness. I'm going to make a little sticky note so that I have it in front of me so that I can remember to look at this.
Okay. Aberrations.
I may have been loud.
No.
Celestials.
No.
Dragons.
No. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I
delayed
did not
too
like
long
the
for that.
hesitation there. I'm
No,
like,
I was thinking about something else. That's okay. No, it's not. No, there's no dragon.
Okay. Elementals.
You do sense an elemental at the far reach, like if we're going north, south, east, west, and you guys are north, and south is where you came into the forest. It's far west.
Okay. Sounds good. Then it's Fae.
You do get a Fae. You get quite a few Fae pings.
Well, that's true. Would I get the Fae ping, like, right behind us?
Surprisingly, well, no, because we determined Eladrin don't have the Fae quality. They are technically humanoid, so no.
Okay. That was
Tatiana
just a
does.
serious question.
Oh, that is true.
Oh.
You do actually get a relatively small Fae ping pretty close behind you.
Okay.
Sneaking up on Geode right now.
Okay. Fiend.
No.
Geode, don't
Undead.
move.
No
Yeah.
undead.
Okay, so other than the Fae right next to us.
You did get Fae pings around you as well.
But nothing is
Hold on
within
one
a
second.
reasonable distance.
I do have to check something else real quick too, because I think I may have misspoken about what its type is. I wasn't expecting this, so I wasn't prepared for this. I should always be prepared for everything.
Ooh, we got her.
You got me.
We won D&D, guys.
Yep.
You do sense to the east, northeast, a celestial presence.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Center myself. Megan knows what it is.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Surprise!
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, it would have surprised.
Okay, so you're jumping on Geode?
Yeah, I'm just jumping on his back, giving him a big hug.
Okay.
Out of nowhere.
I'm gonna make
Hammer.
Are
You're
you
gonna
dropping?
Warhammer.
I was gonna say, are you dropping invisibility, or are you keeping it on as you jump on his back?
Well, I would have dropped it as I jumped on his back.
Okay, because I almost did it again. Dezyrae is going to make an attack roll out of sheer panic reaction. You're talking to a soldier, and she attacks when things just pop out. Especially because she knew there was a Fey right behind her. So that is... that's only a 10 to hit.
10 does not hit.
Okay. So you just, luckily, just barely grazes by you as she just whips around lightning fast.
Fleur, what are you doing?
I was following.
And I'm gonna just kind of look at Fleur, look at the Fey sense I got that's probably like right next to her, and just kind of dart my eyes back and forth and be like, so Tatiana, she, what is she exactly? Because I have some questions.
She's a friend.
Are you finally
Right.
starting to believe, Dezyrae?
Well, I believe she's something. And I,
Shaped.
yeah,
That's a start. That's...
I'm not sure if I trust her though.
Well, if Fleur trusts her, and, well, I trust her, how many more people do you need to trust?
You never
Many,
trust
many more.
anybody in the business. Yeah, you never trust anybody.
So, if we're not supposed to trust anybody, why do we give you money?
You, I mean, that was your call. That was not my call.
Well, can I have
Because you won't give it away.
No,
Well,
you
Fleur,
can definitely
you-
not have it.
You shouldn't have it, no, because you like to give it away.
Well,
We can't
I
give it
just
to
like to
Lannis.
Y'all have broke Geode's brain for a minute.
So,
We're
you know what
not-
was?
I will not. It's fine. Let's just go. I don't
Was
trust
it-
things I don't see and can't relate. Like something I can't tell what its intentions are. I don't like that.
Was there anything following us?
Something was definitely here, and it was trying to cover its tracks. There was
Oh,
also
there's-
something right there.
That would be to Tatiana.
Yeah, Tatiana. Yes. But it was
Right.
just an unexpected shock to see her pop up on my radar. But I can't tell what was here, but something was here. There's lots of stuff around us, but nothing in our immediate vicinity. That I can sense, at least.
So Geode had his good idea of the day. Good.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and head back, yeah?
Yeah.
And Fleur, you really shouldn't surprise people when they're trying to investigate and possibly be quiet.
okay.
A good joke is fun, but there are time for jokes, and that probably wasn't one of them. It was still funny, don't get me wrong, but
I do apologize for trying to stab you. Just so reflex.
This time.
This time.
This time, yeah, exactly.
are you back to camp?
So, Fleur will jump back up on Geode's back and right there if you'll let him.
Yep.
And while we're walking, she will cast invisibility on you.
So it looks like you're floating.
Yeah, pretty much. She'll wait until we get closer to camp, but
Meanwhile, back at camp, hey, where's Fleur?
So obviously we'll head back, and then I will relay the information that something was tracing us, but it's something smart enough that it would have covered its tracks, but it's no longer near us that I could see.
Okay.
Okay, we'll worry about that later. Is Fleur floating?
Yes.
No, Fleur's not floating. I'm carrying her.
Oh! Why are you invisible?
What? Oh my god! I can't see my hands. You said the Feywild wasn't going to affect me yet. We haven't even gotten there. Okay, this is kind of cool though. Y'all can't see what I'm doing, can you?
We get the outline of his movements as they sort of as they come between us and Fleur. Like we can see the outline of what we can't see through Fleur briefly.
This is kind of cool.
I was kind of hoping she knew how to fly. That would have been cool.
I don't, but Tatiana does.
Yes.
By the way,
Pick up on that.
Dezyrae saw Tatiana.
I did. And you said it was a very small ping? Okay.
You saw
Would-
Tatiana?
Sort of.
Did you believe hard enough?
Nah, I told you.
I
all you had to
mean,
do.
I guess technically it was believing hard enough because I was focusing very hard on trying to find things, and I found Tatiana.
She believes now.
I do.
We should probably stand guard 2 at a time if there is something potentially
Yes.
following us.
I agree.
So I am happy to take first watch if someone would like to join me.
Sure.
Who are we waking up for second watch?
I'll take
I will
some.
take second watch. I like the stars.
Okay.
Okay.
So first watch, if you will roll perception checks for
Perception?
me.
Before we go to sleep, Annalise is gonna practice a few magic tricks with a coin.
Okay.
So you guys might see the coin disappear and reappear a whole bunch of times.
I'm not going to mess with you this time. I have my fun. Okay. Oh boy. I get advantage and I'm rolling like crap. 9.
Oh boy.
Dirty
That was a
20.
4 and an 8.
Dirty 20. Okay. Okay. You hear some nighttime critters scurrying through the forest. And you see, as you sit there, the kind of like hazy purpleness of the trees, as well as those little floating, kind of ever moving, like little fairy lights almost. They little twinkle and kind of
Little
sparkle
motes just
underneath.
kinda
Little
floating
motes.
around.
Little tiny motes that float around at the base of the trees. But you listen and you don't hear anything other than the standard scurrying of small animals and insects.
Hooting of owls.
Hooting of owls and insects of the forest, yes.
Okay.
So none of those are standard for Geode, so he is on edge the entire time.
Okay, that's fair. That's extremely valid.
These are normal. These are normal sounds for the forest.
Are you sure?
That was an owl. That was probably some kind of squirrel or small animal.
Probably.
Probably.
Okay.
If I realize what it is, I'll like point out to him that, you
Okay.
know, those are crickets. Those are whatever we hear, you know. Get him used to
Yeah.
the things.
All right. So your watch goes without issue.
Okay. You wake up.
Fantastic.
Dezyrae and Fleur.
Okay.
Okay. Soft 20.
Oh. Oh, that's good because I only got a 13.
Okay. You guys sit there. Fleur, you're staring at the stars and kind of just sitting, chilling, watching the fire ever kind of simmer down. You hear the varying noises of the forest. You got a 20 Fleur, right?
Yes.
Okay. About halfway through your watch, you swear you see something in the forest. Something moving. Perfect timing. You swear you see something moving slightly in the forest.
Was that Fleur or what they heard?
Did that come from me?
I'm not sure where that came from. So if someone needs to check on their small one, I understand.
Nope, that was mine. That was mine.
Okay.
I will point it out to Dezyrae, and out of curiosity, for the sake of whatever, what I have gotten the equivalent of a short rest as we're sitting here doing our long rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to figure out if I get my pack slots back.
Also, you're an elf, right?
Yes.
You only need 4 hours, right? Oh, but you've only technically done, well,
Yeah.
you'd be right on the cusp.
For a short rest.
I'm not.
I would
Short
say
rest
you
is an
would
hour.
just have a short rest. I would say you just have a short rest.
That's fine, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I will point out the sound that I heard, and I'll ask Dezyrae if she wants to sneak up on it.
Yeah, I will. Can I, now that it's been pointed out to me, can I, like, clock it?
You definitely see something smaller, definitely humanoid, shifting in the forest.
I'm
Can I
gonna
cast-
go ahead and burn another spell slot to do Primeval Awareness again. So,
You get a Fey ping.
okay. Because obviously it's hard, because Megan has put the pieces together, but I don't know if Dezyrae would have put the pieces together. Can she surmise that, like, would she connect the dots that this might be Salvatarian? Not Salvatarian. Yes. That's the Satyr, right?
Salvatorian.
Salvatorian. I was close.
More like Stuvatorian.
Just make a general intelligence check.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good. That's an 8. So,
No, you don't. You
Nope.
don't put those pieces together.
so I'm going to go ahead and stealth, put my cloak up and get all nice and dark, and go around the camp to try to get closer to it sneakily.
As you're doing that, as you get up, I would cast Invisibility at 3rd level, so we are both
Ooh.
invisible.
Okay. So both of you make stealth rolls at advantage.
Brilliant. But if you don't know you're about to become invisible, do you risk tripping or running into something?
Let's see. Stealth.
24.
16.
16. Okay. Okay. So you both kind of stealth around and you move through there. And as you get closer, you can see what appears to be a small humanoid shape. What appears to be maybe a female gnome.
Can I walk up to it and say hi?
Sure, if you want to.
I'm just
Are
gonna
you
walk
still
right up.
invisible?
Yeah, I'm still invisible because I didn't think about that.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? What are you doing?
Okay. As you do
Dezyrae's
that,
just in shadows shaking her head.
as you do that, the creature turns and looks all around, kind of in the direction where the voice came from, and in, I believe it is, yes, you starts to do magic, and is gone in a flash of like purplish energy.
That was weird.
But
You think she's
God damn it, I did it
invisible?
again. I'm going to do a very quick scan around to see if I see the humanoid figure pop up anywhere around.
Okay, go ahead, make another perception check.
That's a 19.
19. No, you don't see them pop up anywhere else around near you.
Okay. Did it look like the same thing as what Fleur does when we go invisible, or did it look more like a different kind of magic?
No, I'd say it looks like a different kind of magic. I'll give you that one for free.
Okay.
Did I get the impression, because I can Misty Step, did it look like teleportation type dealies?
It did look like some sort of teleportation type magic, but you're not, I don't know. If you want, you can make an Arcana check to see if you know what kind of magic it is.
Sure, why not for this one? 8.
8. You are not sure. You get the sense that it is teleportation based, but you don't know exactly what it is.
I think they ran away from GM. Do you see Dezyrae? Oh yeah, she's still invisible, isn't she? Okay. Well, maybe we can't see her then.
Desiree's just sitting there like, do I make myself known? Do I not make myself known? Like, she just doesn't know what to do.
Alright. Fleur will make her way back to camp, and then she will drop invisibility, and at that point, Dezyrae is no longer invisible either.
Okay.
Okay. I would assume she's probably still stealth, though.
Oh, probably.
So, but she will make her way back towards the camp and sit back down, but be much more on alert this time.
Okay. So you guys finish the rest of your watch, and it goes off without issue for the rest of it. You keep high alert to look for this being or anything else out of amiss, and nothing else seems to go without issue. Go with issue. Actually, about. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Let me figure this out. At about 2 hours into your watch, but yeah, about halfway. So as you're coming back from your little jaunt, you see a burst of arcane light from where Lannis is sleeping.
Bows out, arrow notched.
Lannis doesn't appear to move.
I look over at Fleur and
Just to see what's going on.
Would that wake any of us up?
You can roll, those of you who are sleeping can roll perception checks with disadvantage.
Okay.
15 for Geode.
Nope, that's a natural one.
20.
I'm a heavy sleeper, apparently.
Okay, so I would say Geode and Mirage would probably, you would see a bright light behind your eyes and kind of like wake up and be like, what's happening?
What's going on?
What was that?
I don't know. Lannis, are
Good
you there?
question.
And she'll just kind of try and wake him up.
So I guess
Does he wake
still
up?
kind of workshopping. Yeah, that's important. But yes and no. We're still workshopping how it looks when the transition happens, I suppose. But now, whereas he was very autumnal, oranges, browns, reds, and things, he's very green and vibrant, vivacious almost. Fleur recognizes he's now aligned to the spring season.
All right.
I'm the one who wrote it down too. I'm the only one to sleep.
Iridon.
Wrote it down.
No, I wrote it down. It's
okay, cool.
Iridon.
Where?
Hello. What have we here? It's been a while, ain't it? Hello. Oh,
Well,
people.
I don't know how long it's been for you, Iridon, but I'm Geode.
It's a pleasure, mate. I just need to take a look at what's been left for me. And I guess he'll just kind of look over the notes that I kind of presume Lannis wrote or scribbled or... Oh, it's been a lot going on. We're off to help a friend of this Miffin roll, all right? Good stuff. Always good for a trip to the Feywild, as long as I'm here anyway.
Dezyrae will let the not let the arrow go, but loosen the bowstring and put the arrow back and put her bow back on her back now that she doesn't think something terrible is about to happen.
Oh, thanks for not shooting me, love. It's not the first time I've been woken up with an arrow after a transition, but I appreciate it not being this time.
Iridon,
sure.
I need you to do me a favor.
What's that, mate? What's that, friend? Geode, right? Yeah, it's a nice hammer. that
Geode.
It's pretty sick.
I need
set
you
the
to
flames on there, make it go faster.
They might make you go faster. I need you to say crikey.
Crikey, what do you mean?
Oh. Nope, I'm good. Well,
I apologize to anybody who naturally speaks whatever accent I'm going for in the stream. I'm just all in. I never promise it's good, but I'm gonna go in all the way.
Rex is listening. He's cringing in British right now.
Cringes in British.
Yeah.
Well, if everything's okay, I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Geode's gonna pass right back out.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I am Mirage. See you in the morning.
Oh,
Back
yeah,
out.
the sneak offense. Yeah, gotcha, yeah. I guess the Iridon's awake. He could probably help with watch if sort of got his rest in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always a bit shifty after a change. Let's go back to sleep.
So, you guys finish out your watch, and then we can, Iridon can now take over watch if you would like.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So Iridon, if you would please make a perception check for me.
We're gonna double up too with me.
Yeah.
You could double up if
Yes,
you want to
we
wake
say-
up
I would wake up Annalise and be like,
Okay.
there was a humanoid, small, female, was there, then wasn't there. Don't know what that's about, but keep an eye out. Good night.
Don't know what it is. Your problem now.
Yeah.
And now we have an Iridon instead of a lettuce,
eye
so
out
we
for
have that.
That pumpkins? What? Oh, yeah.
Annalise turns and sees that Iridon is a thing, pulls out her notebook, and then reads it. Iridon.
Yeah, good to meet you. Hello.
Hello. I'm Annalise.
Oh, pleasure,
Nice to-
Annalise. Nice to meet you as well. Lannis mentioned you all in his notes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll be, I guess we can get to know each other a little bit while we're on watch, right?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I don't know if Lannis should be, Iridon should be giving you advantage.
You can either each roll separately, or one of you can roll with advantage.
My perception isn't great. If you have more than a +2, I would recommend advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I would take that. I have more than +2. Because I rolled a 3 the first time, so... Better. 19 overall.
19. Okay. So you keep a watch. The sounds of the nighttime critters start to fade as the morning takes, and you hear small skittering and things of that nature, but nothing crazy. No humanoids, like Dezyrae said. But yeah, the sun begins to rise. The beautiful pinks and purples start to filter through the trees. The small motes of light begin to disappear. Your watch goes without issue.
Yay!
No small humanoids.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was all about. Does she often see small humanoids, or is that... Menace didn't mention anything like that in his notes, but it's always good to figure out that sort of thing.
Well, she's seen a small humanoid earlier yesterday, and then apparently a small humanoid now. So,
Starting to
it might
establish
be
a
a thing.
trend. No one else sees these small humanoids? Is that how I gather? It's just what she sees?
She just, like, because she's got a, like,
Well,
stupid
Fleur
high
does,
passive
apparently.
perception, will just level you with this glare and just...
Well, Fleur does apparently, so I think there's something to it at least.
We were approaching this humanoid in the forest when Fleur decided to invisibly go up and greet them. Naturally, this creature panicked and teleported away. So...
It's teleported away. Yes, I understand perfectly.
Well, it did go poof. I saw it.
Good. Yep. No, that's fine. That's good. We'll keep an eye out for sure.
And did I recognize anything about this creature at all?
I mean, it was like a female gnome. You didn't really notice anything. I guess you could make an insight check if you want.
Oh, that's actually decent. Soft 20.
Okay. You would get the sense that it may be using some sort of magic to disguise itself, but you're not sure what is the original creature, but you do get the sense that there may have been some sort of magic involved.
That wasn't what I saw wasn't what it really was.
Correct.
Okay.
And that
So
would align with the fact that I noticed it was Fae.
I was gonna say, are gnomes Fae? I didn't think so, but
No.
okay, that makes sense.
I just wasn't sure if it was some form of gnome-looking creature that I might have recognized, or if it was an actual, that was all I was trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But if it looked like actual gnome, then that's all Fleur would have noticed.
So
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
she ran
should.
away.
Maybe we should stealth away with your help, Geode, the way you got us here from the other place we were going to camp,
Wait.
so it cannot
Okay.
follow us.
Well, we can if we'd like, as long as we've gotten a little bit of a rest. Yeah. Do I gain the benefits of a long rest?
yes, everybody gains
Yeah.
the benefits of a long rest.
Fantastic.
Hooray.
That's
It's
what I was
always good
waiting to
confirm
hear.
that.
Yes,
Long
confirmed.
rest.
And yeah, I can.
She's
I
not
can.
going to do it right after Megan warned us.
Yeah. I remember.
We're on high alert now.
Thank you for checking.
Yeah, I can make it so we have a little bit easier time getting through without being tracked.
Alright.
If something is following us, I think that is wise.
I agree.
All right. So yeah, then he will once again cast Pass Without a Trace.
All right.
Now that it's daytime, his Pass Without a Trace is less shadow and more. As he walks, the earth beneath him just kind of reorganizes itself to make it look like nothing's gone through.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, so then everybody, please roll a stealth check.
Plus 10 or what?
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Oh, that's off the net 20.
That is a dirty 20 for me.
Same.
Okay.
39.
Just double
Big
check my
elephant.
numbers here.
I've been
41.
rolling like shit tonight.
Ooh.
Oh wait,
Nice.
that's a better number than I thought it was. Okay, so that's 25, 35.
35. Okay. Okay. And what was your
Very
number,
stealthy
Fleur?
elephant.
29.
Okay. All right. So you guys all begin making your way through the forest. I would like Dezyrae to go ahead and make another survival check with advantage.
I will help you. Oh, advantage because she has a map. Okay.
Yes.
I have.
I don't trust any of my dice now because they've all been betraying me. So let's roll you. We haven't rolled you yet today. Okay, that one wasn't bad. And we'll try it. Hey, it's the same number on both dice. Okay, well, that is a 22.
Okay. 22. So you get, you follow the map, you're following the landmarks, you're making your way. You make decent time. You're pushing through, and with all of your stealth, you begin to come across this kind of strange area of forest, one that's not marked on the map, and it kind of throws you off a bit, Dezyrae. It's very like I don't want to say run down, but like a lot of broken trees, a lot of mud patches, a lot of like rot, and it's just a very strange area that you have kind of come into, and it started very suddenly. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It was like fine forest, bad forest, like that kind of a thing. You can try and circumvent it if you'd like. You could try and cross through it, whatever you would like.
No, I'd like to try. I'd like to try to circumvent it, but also try to see if I can tell, is this like just natural rot? It doesn't seem like natural rot, but like, can I discern what is occurring?
I think Fleur would be very good at discerning if this is normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do I see any small critters running around?
You do see there's quite a few birds, some small like squirrel-like creatures. Just those are what you see right off the bat.
All right. I would like to find a squirrel and cast animal friendship on it.
Sure.
And then I am going to have my squirrel friend come over to me because it's charmed by me.
Okay.
And I will ritually cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
So I'll sit down and I'll talk to it and I'll ask it, what's going on with the woods? Why do they look sick? It looks sad. What's good? Is there something bad up here? What's wrong?
We avoid that part of the forest. It's really gross, and there's some weird things over there.
Like weird scary or like weird big or like
well, like weird big and like weird little, and there's like flying things and just weird all around.
Okay. Oh, what's your name,
There's
by
like
the way?
stuff that comes out of the mud, and it's like weird mud creatures. Yeah, it's not good. And like there's some like really dangerous plants in there too. Like my friend Bob, he ate some mushrooms and he's gone. We don't.
Oh no!
Not good.
He gone.
Bob.
He gone.
Oh, Bob? Okay.
Yeah.
So don't eat the mushrooms.
Don't eat the mushrooms.
Yeah. His friend Bob ate some bad mushrooms, so he says we shouldn't eat the mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Jeremiah.
Oh, it's Jeremiah.
Oh, I thought Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
I was just gonna say.
Sorry.
I was debating whether or not to go there.
I never debate. I just go.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're in this group, and I'm in this group. Yes.
So, Jeremiah says that Bob ate some bad mushrooms, and he says that there's flying things and big things and little things in the middle of the yucky mud, and that. What else? What else was there?
Are they things that have been here for forever, or are they?
Yeah, is it new or has it been here for a long time?
I mean, as long as I know, I mean, as long as I've been around.
In my long squirrel life.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
7 days.
So, do you think we should go around it, or do you want us to go look inside and see what it is?
I would go around it.
Okay. Is there a shorter way around it? Should we go this way or should we go this way?
I don't know. I don't go very far around these woods. I've only gone about, 6 trees that way before I stop.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Do you want to go for a ride? We can go on a weekend.
No, I'm okay. My family's here. I like it here. Thanks though. You seem real nice.
Okay. Fleur is going to reach into her sack and she's going to pull out one of the good berries that she has left from yesterday.
Okay.
She's going to give it to him and say, "Here, you can eat this, but you probably shouldn't eat much after this because you might not be able to poop."
Okay. Should I share it or is it like not eat it one serving? Like, is it?
Well, for big people, we eat it in one serving. You could probably share it and it might be okay. It should make you
I'll
very
bring it to my family.
That sounds very
you.
nice. You're welcome.
And Jeremiah will skitter off with the good berry.
Geode's just gonna shout after him.
The berries are actually pretty good, Jeremiah. I don't know if he heard me or if he understood what I said, but
I might. There's
You heard
something to
his
get you
name.
talking.
Jeremiah says that we should go around the mud. He says that there's scary things in the middle. So
Sounds good.
Sounds logical. Around it is.
so we don't want to deal with the scary things in the mud.
Nope.
Right. All
I
right.
mean-
Well, if you're sure.
Maybe on the way back, but we do want to try to find
Theodore.
Theodore. Thank you. We want
I
to
get it,
find
I
him
get it.
with haste.
Okay.
So
Quick question, DM.
Yes.
I'm looking at the map of Drakenheart Forest. Is this area where the X is? Or would we be able to know that? Or
no, the X is where the portal is.
Yeah, I think that's where we're
the portal.
headed.
Okay,
Yes.
so it would be somewhere in between.
Between. Yes.
Okay.
You're a little bit closer you're closer towards the X than you are towards the tower.
Okay.
Approximately how far roundabout do we have to go to avoid the mud?
You're not sure. You kind of look both ways, and it does go for a little bit of a distance, as far as you can see with the eye. So you're not sure how long the detour will take.
We need to pick right or left.
Can I climb a tree and see if I can get a good vision of the land?
Sure.
In my suit.
Make an acrobatics or athletics.
In your suit, climbing a tree.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. 17.
17. Okay. So you climb one of the trees, no problem. And
Acrobatics,
you
by
get
the way.
up to the top. And you look out, and you do kind of see this patch of like sickly looking. It's like a different color than the rest of the forest. And it does stretch for, it's kind of like an oval shape, and it does stretch pretty far to the left and the right. It does look like it stretches a little more towards the left than it does to the right, but it looks like it might add like a 2-3 hours detour to your trip.
All right.
So I'm just gonna yell up and say, Jeremiah said there was flying things too. Do you see any of those?
I was just about to ask if I saw anything in the whole mud pit area.
Make a perception check.
Mud pit. Geode might have fun in there.
I very
dirty
well
20.
might.
What was that?
Soft 20.
Natural?
Soft 20.
Soft 20, sorry. Yes, so you do see like the mud kind of bubbles in areas, and there's definitely some things moving through the mud. And there's also like the trees seem to shake a little bit. You don't see, I would say you do see small flying like mud looking creatures, but that's all you really see.
All right. Instead of answering to the yell, I'm gonna climb down first.
Okay.
While we're waiting for that, Geode's gonna try to find a rock to throw into the mud.
Okay.
That's funny. I was just about to shoot an arrow in there, but a rock works too.
Oh, you're gonna do this while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
Here,
Either while you were
do-
climbing up or
I'll
while
do
you were
you
climbing
one
down.
better. I'll show you the outside of where you're standing. So I moved you to the map. I don't, Adam, if you're listening, if you could move to the map page. I've just changed the map.
Hmm.
All right. So this is kind of what you're looking at like from your perspective, like as you've come in, this is the change that's happened.
Yeah. Geode would probably throw like a rock or something into this patch of mud there.
Okay.
Just kind of.
Make an athletics or acrobatic, or like either a dexterity or strength check, just to see if you can throw it in there.
24.
Yeah, no problem. So you throw it in there, and you see it kind of plops in and it kind of sucks down in, and you see like a bubble on top like zip away further down into the mud, like further away from the mud, and like a head pop out and look around.
Like a head, like. Oh.
Like a, let me.
An alligator, like a humanoid.
They're like very weird looking. I don't really know how to.
Geode has Twitch
Vegetable,
inspiration,
animal,
by
or
the way.
mineral.
Oh, do I have Twitch inspiration?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. What does that mean?
So that
You
means
get
you get
advantage
to.
on a roll.
You get advantage on a roll.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They look like they're like small little, like they almost look impish, I guess is the best way to do it. They have like long pointy ears, but they're like
Dark imps.
covered in mud, and they have these long pointy noses. But that's all you see is the head, but it's covered in mud.
He's gonna get a javelin and be like, there's something in the
I
mud
would
there.
I would just leave it, and we just go out.
All right.
As Annalise comes down, I
I
don't
feel
think we
like
should mess
there's
with that
one-
at all.
There's
As-
a lot.
As you are talking about this, the one that's looking around kind of starts to fly up and starts to look around. Those of you who have done an action, so that would be Annalise, Geode, and Fleur. I need you all to remake stealth checks, please.
Oh boy, do we still
Is
have the
the-
+10?
I think it hasn't been more than an hour, so I would say
yeah,
the
less.
10 is still done.
That is a natural 20 for 30.
Nice.
26.
26.
26. Okay. It looks around and it starts to fly and look, but it doesn't quite seem to clock any of you. And you can see they're much smaller, and it's got these like long, like little wings, and they just drip mud. And they're flying.
All right, Mirage is gonna look at Dezyrae.
Mhm.
As thieves camp, but let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let go.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I will start leading the pack around to because you said the right side was slightly shorter, or that was the slightly
Yes.
longer side.
Yeah, I thought
Yes,
it was
the right
Well,
side.
I haven't come down to tell yet.
Oh, I thought you had already climbed down, and that's why you had to make the stealth check.
Yeah, I thought you climbed down because you climbed down to talk to Geode
Right.
instead of yelling.
I did,
you
but
said.
like he said, he was doing this while I was up there.
As you were climbing down, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I would definitely head to the right. It seems to be the shortest path. It's gonna take us about 2 hours longer, but I think we should avoid the center. There's
Yes.
something in that mud.
Gonna point out the flying thing to Annalise.
like that.
Yes, and quite a few of them.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's not go through the middle.
All right. So you guys. Oh,
Lost kid again.
no. You guys begin to make your way around the outside of this little patch of like this weird like muddy goopy, it's almost bog-like in a sense, but it's not quite. And you make it around. It does add a little bit of time to your journey, so that time that you made up Dezyrae earlier, you kind of lost that time going around.
Okay.
You make it a little bit further, and you look, it's starting to get towards the evening. The sun is beginning to set, but it looks as if you are, like, based on the map, based on your calculations, it looks as if you're only about an hour away from the portal. What do you
I
wish
would
to
say
do?
we camp. I'll inform everybody and say, I think we should camp on this side.
Definitely.
With being less familiar with the Feywild,
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel more comfortable sleeping here than sleeping there.
I agree.
I agree.
I'll go with whatever you want, because both of these are new to me, so...
Okay.
Yeah,
This
that's
guy's
probably
sleeping
wise.
over there. We can sleep over here.
I'm sure we'll get the chance to sleep over there as well.
So for the last hour of travel, we should probably do the pass without a trace. So if anything was following us, we can lose the trail if you have that ability, Geode.
I unfortunately can't do that again until
Okay.
we at least take a few hours of just me.
I can do it.
I can only do it once per short rest.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I have the spell
Yeah,
prepared,
yeah.
so
You have pass without a trace, Dezyrae?
yes.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and cast that for our last, however long it takes for the last little bit
To
while we
find-
look for a place to camp.
Yeah.
All right. While they're doing that, I would like to, since we know someone might be following us, set up a combination of ropes, python, and a bell as a perimeter around their campsite in order to alert us if anyone comes by.
Okay.
That's clever. I'll set that up.
I
Okay.
don't know if 50 feet is enough, but if it's not, I can always ask for someone else's.
Okay. I would say you'd probably need a little bit more.
Geode will give his up.
Okay.
All right.
So you
I
take
used to
that
do this when I
easily.
was young.
It's a good idea. I like it.
All right. So you begin to set up camp for the evening. No problem. And I will say, actually, let me do this. Yes. So for the sake of time, I will say your evening goes without issue. And you're able to sleep through the night. You all take turns taking watch, but nothing of any consequence happens. Your bell system was smart, and you might want to think about doing that again in the future, as that may assist you with any unfriendlies that may wander in. But
I completely forgot that I had planned to do it the first night, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it the next night.
So you begin to, so you finish up, the sun rises, you all wake up, another long rest, no issue, and the day is yours. I will say you begin to head towards the portal, knowing that it is getting close, and that your journey to the Feywild is beginning to become a reality as the trees become... As you get closer to the portal, the trees become like richer in color, and they become more pinks and purples, and there's more mushrooms and more strange fauna, flora, I should say.
Is Iridon still with us?
Oh, that's a good question.
It was actually just waiting to pop in and say hello again. It's not been long, but hello again, guys. Linus back here. Not too long of a gap. Doesn't look like
Welcome back, Linus.
So you guys, the colors of the trees begin to really change and get closer, and you get to a point where you feel like you're almost at the portal, and that's where we're going to stop for tonight, because the portal I really want to focus on for next session.
Sounds good to me.
So we'll close that up for this evening, and we'll jump back in at the portal for next session. So thank you all for joining us this evening, for this crazy fun that we've been having. I wasn't sure where everything was going to go or what was going to happen, but
we got to the portal.
Yeah.
We survived the walk in the forest. I have to tell you guys something funny. In our Novatus game, there's a joke about Pythons. So when you said that, I said Python to Chrissy, and it autocorrected to Putin.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, no! I'm like, darn it!
Putin, Chrissy.
Why? It doesn't recognize the word pipe. And it wanted to put Christy, and I'm like, no!
That's so funny. Oh dear. Well, thank you everybody for coming along on this adventure. Thank you guys for an awesome storytelling game. I hope you had fun. So we'll pick this up in 2 weeks' time at the portal.
All right.
And
thank you, Notorious.
That's me now, I guess, Notorious. Yeah. We'll see you guys all real soon.
Your dice will be in the mail tomorrow.
Mama Bear, feeding Mama Bear's dice addiction.
And Lannis, yours will be too. Lannis placed an order while we were all hanging out, so yay, thank you.
Nice.
One
Secrets
for somebody who's maybe listening, so.
Oh.
Ooh.
Top secret. All right.
Spoilers.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had fun. Tune in 2 weeks' time at the same time on Sparabel to pick up where we left off. We love you all very much. We hope you had fun.
Make sure to tune in Friday.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Megan.
The Gallant Horde.
Tune in Friday for the Gallant Horde. If you want notifications, hit that follow button. And the notifications will come on that they're going live. It's going to be Cloud Giants. It should be super fun. Check it out. And we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.